Originally, today's video was supposed to be all about ways you can save money while self-publishing, but after careful consideration, I'm pretty sure that first we need to go back to basics. WordNerds, happy Thursday. I hope you're all having a great week so far. I have been all over the place. This is actually my third attempt to film this video, and hopefully it goes a little more smoothly than the first couple of times. But back earlier this year, I did promise to make more self-publishing content for this channel, and I'm going to try to do that today. We're going to talk a little bit about the how to go about self-publishing, not specifically the what is self-publishing in that you are putting your own book out into the world, keeping your rights, and of course all of the responsibility, but a little more specific than that into how do you do it. For the purposes of today's video, we're going to stick to talking about ebooks because paperbacks are a little more involved for self-published authors. They also tend to make up a smaller portion of most authors' incomes, so while it is definitely something I will get into eventually, for today we are just talking ebooks. Now, obviously, step one is going to be to write your book and edit that book and make it as strong as you possibly can, send it off to beta readers and critique partners, and really just make that manuscript shine, and that's where things tend to go a little bit differently than it would if you were traditionally publishing your book. What I most recommend at this next step is to get an editor involved, a professional who unfortunately you yourself have to pay, but the upside is that after that you get to keep all the royalties from your book yourself, but it is an upfront investment that I really don't think many authors can afford to skimp on because readers and reviewers will definitely call you out on any mistakes in your manuscript. How much editing you want to do is going to be completely up to you. Some people get developmental editors who help them with plot and pacing and characters and all of that stuff. Other people go with just a proofreader to do that final pass, cleaning up any grammar and punctuation and spelling and things that really just have to be perfect in order for your book to get out there. Once your book itself is as strong as you can possibly make it, you need to actually create the book. So for an ebook, this mostly means you're going to need a cover. This is again something some authors do for themselves, but you really should hire a professional for, because having a less than great cover is one of the fastest ways to scare readers off before they even give your book a chance. So you may hire a professional to do this, you may do it yourself, but either way, your book is obviously going to need a cover. You're also going to need to format that baby, which means making it into an EPUB and a MOBI, and basically standard ebook files for readers to put onto their e-readers and enjoy. Again, this is something you can hire out. You can hire out pretty much any step of self-publishing a book if you want to, including actually writing the book. But I do find formatting to be pretty easy both in ebook and in paperback, so it is worth taking the time to learn it yourself in order to save some money down the road. And it also means you can update your own files as you need to because you know all of the steps that are involved. So it's definitely a skill worth picking up if you're interested in self-publishing down the line. This also includes adding in things that make the difference between a manuscript and an actual book, like a title page and a copyright page and about the author and all of that fun stuff that you see in all of the books that you read, but probably don't give that much thought to. And then voila, you have a book that you can sell out in the world to readers and author friends and your family, which is pretty cool. Of course, this was all very quick versions of all of these steps, and it is a lot more involved in that, but it is also that simple, which can be pretty exciting. Anyone is capable of publishing a book all on their own. It does take time and effort, but to be fair, you're creating a book, so that's pretty much to be expected. So then what next? How do you get your book out into the world? This is where distributors come in. The big one is, of course, Amazon. Amazon has Kindle Direct Publishing, which is an online platform where you upload your book and your cover, and you put in the blurb and the categories you want your book to be in, and keywords, and a lot of stuff that does take some time to go through, but is pretty easy if you take the time to learn it, and that gets your book up onto Amazon. You can also make the choice whether or not to enroll your book in KDP Select, which means you are only publishing to Amazon, but Kindle Unlimited readers can read your book that way as well. So not only are you getting paid on sales of your book, but also if your book is borrowed through Amazon Store and people read pages of your book, you get paid that way as well. So as an author, you have to make the choice whether to go with Amazon and Kindle Select, or if you want to go wide. So that involves putting your book into other stores like Kobo and iTunes and Google Play and Nook. So there are more options for people to find your book. And of course, each one of these stores has a completely different setup for uploading your book file. So some people do choose to go through websites like Smashwords or Draft to Digital, which basically you upload one file and then they send it out to all of those other distributors for you. And of course, take a pay of your income, which kind of sucks, but it does save a little bit of that struggle of getting your book out there. So it's really more, are you trying to save time or are you trying to save money? And again, there are a lot of decisions you have to make as a self-published author, which can be pretty tricky, but there are so many great communities out there of other authors who are going through the exact same stuff and are happy to share their information and tell you what they went through, what worked for them. Now, no matter which store you decide to put your book into, you get to decide the price, so that can be anywhere from free all the way up to, I guess, any price is possible. $2.99 is a pretty popular one, but a lot of the decision making has to do with what book it is in the series and how popular you are, and if you have any promos going on right now, because once you're looking at price, the next thing you're looking at is marketing your book, which is, I think, one of the big things that scares people away from self-publishing, because marketing is scary and it is so vital to the success of your book. The good news is you don't have to do anything. You can just tell your friends and family about the book, put it out there, and see what happens. Sometimes you may get a surprise hit on your hands, and Amazon's algorithms will pick up your title and sell it to all of their customers, and who knows what can happen. But really, if you want to be successful, your best option is going to be getting yourself out there in whatever means you feel best suits you and your book. For some people, that means blog tours. For some people, that means paid promotions and advertisements. There are so many options out there, and it varies from book to book, genre to genre, author to author. So I'm not really going to get into that there, but I will leave links to some of my favorite self-publishing online communities in the description in case you want to jump in and know more. So yeah, I get that I covered a lot of steps very quickly today and I didn't go into detail on any of them. None of this was enough to actually show you how to self-publish your book, but if any of you were curious about what is actually involved, how much time and effort it takes, hopefully this gave you a bit of a rundown of what you're getting yourself into if you do decide to self-publish. And while some of this can be kind of intimidating, the good news is you get to set your own pace. So each step can take as long or as little as you want it to, going from days to months to even years. There is no one right way to go about this, which is kind of what I love about self-publishing, because the world is your oyster and you get to call the shots and get your books out there the way you want them to be at the speed you want to do it. So I will leave it there for today. Hopefully I will get to go into more of these steps in detail in the future. And of course, if there's anything you want to know more about, leave a question in the comments and I will do my best to get to that for you. Don't forget to tune in this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for our next live chat. I have no idea what we're talking about. I do not remember, but I will see you there.